Why don't we cue that up right here?
Aloha.
Shout out Pearl Harbor, by the way.
Whoop, whoop. Hello and welcome. We're back from theballerlifestyle.com. This is the Baller Lifestyle Podcast. My name is Brian Beckner. Thank you very much for joining us. Episode number 574 of the show. We appreciate you. Do us a favor. Lob us an email, mailbag@theballerlifestyle.com. You can also call us and leave us a message, 949-464-TBLS. Thank you for, and possible big shift in the show coming in the next couple of weeks. So look for that. I am joined now, as always, by Mr. Ed Daly. Eduardo, how are you, buddy? Pretty happy about your Knicks, I bet.
Oh, I'm very happy. That was a fun game one. I still would think the Celtics will win, but the dismissiveness over the Knicks, it was nice to just get them one. But also,
just tell me.
And I'm taking away from one of our stories in the future, but this Met Gala is
I'm so glad.
It's every 3 weeks.
It happens more than the Women's World Cup, Ed, or the Summer Olympics.
Hey, cool. Oh, look, it's a man wearing a dress, and let's all freak out about it. Cool. Who cares?
Who fucking cares? And Ed, I think, look, we've been doing the show 12 years now. I think we've had this discussion at least half a dozen times about the Met Gala to the point where we've Googled it to try to understand what it is. We still don't know what the fuck it is.
I know it's that Anna Wintour.
Yeah, worst.
That's her thing. Hey, cool, I'm a mean fashion lady.
I wear sunglasses everywhere I go.
Yeah, devil wears Prada. Cool. This is super fun.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Yes.
I'm watching the Knicks game, commercial break. I'm I'll check, what. This is what I use Twitter for, even though it's garbage.
It's trash.
The sports people I follow, what are they saying? Is Porzingis coming back or whatever? I'll use it for that. And I see a picture of Spike Lee at the Met Gala.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm supporting my Knicks. I'm wearing a tuxedo and weird things.
Shit.
And it's you are every Knick game. They cut to him and it's he's the Knick fandom.
Mr.
He's
Knick.
the guy. Game one against the Celtics, you're at the Met Gala, and you're not a 27-year-old director trying to make it in the business. You're in your 60s.
Disgusting.
If you skip the Met Gala, you're fine.
Yeah.
And I know you have issues with this guy. I don't. I read today, Timothée Chalamet.
Oh, piece of shit.
Knicks guy.
Yeah.
Skipped the Met Gala and watched the Knicks game because that's what he does.
Well, really?
Ben Stiller
Yeah.
and Timothée Chalamet traveled to Detroit to go to Knicks games at Detroit. These are guys that are real fans, and we're hanging on Spike Lee is the guy. He's the Knicks guy, and it's if you're at the Met Gala for game one of a playoff series, get the fuck out of here. You don't need this for your career.
Wearing a Knicks hat while he was there, you
They're
can't
playing
do
right
that.
Now.
Yeah, you can't do that. You should be watching the game. Big ups to Chalamet. I might be a Chalamater now. This is I respect that because
he's with Kylie Jenner or what?
I mean, all those relationships are fake, but sure,
I know, but they're she's at the Met Gala and he's watching the Knicks game, and I'm okay, cool. This guy is I'm famous enough that I don't need the Met Gala to make me. I get if your movie role depends on you going to the Met Gala. I get you're working on your career.
Yes.
Spike Lee is not depending on the Met Gala.
He's just courting attention. And you would expect Timothée Chalamet to be courting the attention because
you would think he's that guy.
Yeah. But but now he's such a big star.
Yeah, he's a little too big for.
He doesn't need to do
this.
that shit. Yeah, like he's Twinkie. I don't really get it. I don't get him.
I haven't watched. I watched some of the Bob Dylan movie, and like he's pretty good, but like
kind of good. Yeah.
I watched some of it, but I just don't care that much about Bob Dylan. Yeah. But like, great. But Ben Stiller, he has had a great career. He goes to every Knicks game. He made Severance.
Yeah,
he's current.
He's great.
And we're not focused on him.
No,
like we're focused on fucking Spike Lee.
Yeah,
get the fuck out of here.
No, you're not a fan. Look, remember when Spike Lee used to chop it up? He's on the court. He'd be chopping it up with Reggie Miller during the game. He would make himself a part of the game. Now he's making himself part of the Met Gala. Get the fuck out of here.
Terrible.
I totally agree with you. Okay, let's try it again. The Met Gala, formerly called the Costume Institute Benefit. I'm already out, Ed. I don't understand just that much of the first sentence.
They give you like rules for what your costume can be.
Yeah, there's themes. I know that. Is the annual Haute Couture fundraising festival held for the benefit of the Metropolitan Museum of Art's Costume Institute in Manhattan. So people show up and they buy these.
Institute? That's not a thing.
I don't know. What? Yeah, I don't get that part. A costume institute? Like, are we talking?
We've got a war room and it's costumes.
Did it used to be a CVS and you go in there around Halloween and you go in there and you go, hey, I want to be Ace Ventura, and they go, we got it right here. You're Ace Ventura this year.
I had a costume institute. It was called Party City, and I got a Ghostbusters costume from there.
Awesome. Yes.
I got that jumpsuit.
Yes.
That's my costume institute.
The Met Gala is popularly regarded as the world's most prestigious and glamorous fashion event. Attendees are given the opportunity to express themselves through fashion, often producing elaborate and highly publicized outfits inspired by the evening's theme and broader cultural context. The event is known as fashion's biggest night.
But express yourself, but then there are rules.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, I need you to express yourself, but tonight's theme is astronauts. Like, what?
Yeah.
So what? What?
Within the confines of the rules, you can express yourselves. A contribution of $75,000 per seat, Ed, is what it costs to go to the Met Gala. But it's like, now look, Andre 3000, he's great. He's amazing. He's very handsome. You know, I would like a chance to smell his fingers sometime. Okay. That's all I'll say about Andre 3000. He's beautiful. Great artist. He was wearing a fucking piano on his back for attention. And it wasn't for me. Ed, it just it's just not for me.
That show Dave did a funny episode about the Met Gala. I like that.
Yeah, Dave's a funny show. I'm sure it was funny. But he's not. My point is he's not paying $75,000 to sit down. Somebody is paying for him to be there because he's got an album or whatever. Like it's just bullshit. And I'm not a fan of it. And next year,
and it happens every 3 weeks.
And it happens so much as to it never stops happening. It's always happening, much like the Summer Olympics and the Women's World Cup. Always going on. Oh, and WrestleMania. That's the other one. I'm always getting WrestleMania.
Lots of WrestleMania.
So do you know WrestleMania is 2 days? I think they just had it.
I think that's made up. There's no way it's really 2 days.
It's like Coachella. Like you go there and then you spend the whole day and then you come back the next day. 2 days of wrestling?
What are we doing? How many fake storylines do you need to follow?
It's so much. So much.
We get it. You like guys in tights, but like, what are we doing?
Well, it's there's something you want to say that you're not able to say, which we understand.
Right. Yeah.
Ed, let's talk about some people who died.
Just tell us who is dead now. Who died? Just tell us who is dead now. Who died? It's a sad segment, very sad. And it will not be an update on who's alive. Nope. Let's get a tragic update.
tragic update.
Cause Ed Daly has been keeping up on who just died. Cause we're about to hear from Ed on which celebrities are dead. So tell me who died.
Ed,
Tell me who died.
who died this week?
Luckily, not too many this week.
Yeah.
But we lost a guy named Charlie Scalies. He was Horseface from season 2 of The Wire. He hung out on the docks.
Oh.
He was also Tony's former high school football coach on Sopranos.
I know this guy.
You see him and you know him.
Yes.
He was the perfect casting for both those roles.
He was.
He was 84, Alzheimer's.
Yeah.
Very sad, but good run for Charlie. He was, he looked like if I said he was on The Wire, and you'd be like, he was on The Wire? And you'd be like, he must have been on the docks in season 2.
Season
you're like,
2.
yeah, it was Horseface.
Yeah. Down there with Frank Sabatka.
Yeah, Sabatka was great.
Yeah,
and
was so
also
good.
Not nearly as old as we thought.
No,
right?
remember he was in
We
Running
did
Man.
him.
He was one of the guards in Running Man, and we figured out that he was like, when he was on season 2 of The Wire, he was like late 30s, early 40s, which is just
great
stunning.
actor.
Yeah, really good.
but-
R.I.P. Charlie Scalies.
R.I.P. Jill. Is it Sobule?
Sobule. Yeah.
Singer-songwriter known for I Kissed a Girl. I didn't know that this was like somebody writes these songs for the hit makers.
No, she had her own I Kissed a Girl before the Katy Perry Kissed a Girl.
Is Katy Perry's different from?
I think so.
Is it a cover or is this like a totally different?
I don't know. I think it might be 2 different songs. I Kissed a Girl.
66 died in a fire. Terrible.
Yeah. So hold on. Here's Jill Sobule's Kissed a Girl. Let's see if we can do this. Don't play a commercial. This was like one of those. This was like in the Lisa Loeb era music.
Yes, it sounds very Loeb.
Yeah.
Jenny came over and told me about Fred. He's such a hairy behemoth, she said.
It's like singer-songwriter music.
It's very much of a time and a place.
Very much of a time. Very sad she died in a fire. And somebody I know on Instagram is friends with her. And she had just posted a picture of them together. And then the very next day, I read that Jill Sobule had died in a fire.
Very sad.
That's terribly, terribly sad.
Terribly sad.
R.I.P. Okay, Ed, let's talk about some sports topics. As soon as I can find the button. Oh my God. Right here. Wait, is this where we do we do sports right here? Yeah, we do sports right here, right? Yeah.
That's what we do.
And what have I done this 574 times? Brad better not call up and say that I look like. Don't DM me and say that I must be on cocaine because I couldn't remember what button to push, Brad.
Seems mean.
Or where we are in the rundown.
Other guy. I host a podcast show.
I'll give hetero life a try.
If you see something on my hand that makes you think I'm not a man, it's just my cool rings, you see. They're as sparkly as can be. I might own Troy on DVD.
I imagine when he's singing that last part,
What's
it's
that?
like in the studio when he's singing that last part. And I might own Troy. Like,
yeah.
When you bring it up and you bring the finger up, and they used I might own.
Yes.
Great. Beautiful.
Beautiful voice, writes a Bill.
The Ravens.
Yes. Tell me, buddy. Tell me about the Ravens.
They have released Justin Tucker with a fond farewell on announcement on social media. No mention of the 16 women who accused him of inappropriate sexual behavior during massages. It was like 2 waves, and they're like, what he's done for us. And I might point out, if you want to Google their second-round pick, Mike Green.
Kicker?
So, Justin Tucker...
Yeah.
Also, he got released because he had a really un-Justin Tucker-like season. He had a bad season.
He's been around a long time.
But
like,
yeah.
Yeah.
What's been around a long time, these allegations from women massage parlors.
But he was money from 49 yards until last season.
Right. But Mike Green, their new draft pick, just if you want to Google him, why he dropped to the second round, because he was a first round talent, you'll see that maybe they're not standing on principle.
Impulse control, Ed. We got some impulse control issues in the second round.
In high school and at UVA, and that's why he had to transfer to Marshall.
Yeah.
We got a lot of question marks.
Yeah. But he goes over the middle and gets you.
He's a pass rusher. No, he's
yeah.
pass rusher.
Even better. That's one of the
edge
most
rusher,
important positions. In the second round?
Possibly the best edge rusher in the draft.
Yeah.
But a lot of teams passed on him because they're like, oh, what happened in high school? And also what happened at UVA?
But
maybe Justin Tucker, hey,
well,
it's been a good run, buddy.
Maybe what they'll do for this Mike Green is they'll get him a sex doll to have sex with constantly.
Put him in the corner.
Kellen Winslow, because Kellen Winslow, he had some problems, but he was one of those hybrid.
They let him get his surges out. He's fine, right?
Yeah.
He's fine. He's like enjoying retirement, right?
Oh, I mean, he's in prison for multiple rapes.
Including elderly homeless women. But he's fine.
It didn't really matter. He's had to do rapes. We gotta give credit where credit is due, Ed, because our dear friend Jay Stu tweeted, because he retweeted the NFL's Twitter account, and it said Ravens release kicker Justin Tucker, and Jason Stewart retweeted it and said, I wonder if Justin Tucker is enjoying this release. Because I was just reading, he was just recently accused by Moore.
No. It was in February.
Somebody sent me something today. Hold.
You sent it to me. It's just.
It's an old story?
Those are 7 of the 16.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because somebody sent me that, and I was reading, and I thought those were new ones.
No.
And it was very graphic about him leaving his ejaculate on the tanning bed or
there were
massage table.
It's the Cosby thing. You're like, well, maybe she's just after his money, and then they're like, oh, after a few dozen with the same exact story in different times and places, maybe there's something to this.
Yeah, that is the thing. Like, it is like, anybody can say anything about anyone.
Right.
And look, I believe women, but sometimes people can lie. But it's a lot harder to get 16 people to lie than it is to get one person making up a story, and I always go back to that. And then when people are like, oh, this happened a long time ago. And it's like, yeah, but when it happened, she told 11 people that it happened at the time. And it's like, I'm not like, you can't make up a story and then go back in time and have evidence from the time, So it's like, these guys he's guilty. So get rid of it. Yeah. And maybe he can go kick in NFL Europe or something. Ed, I don't know. It's the Canadian
I'm sure that pays well.
Yeah. What else, buddy?
NFL legend, Broncos quarterback, John Elway. He just had to hire a lawyer with a history of repping athletes in trouble after he had a deadly golf cart incident where one of his longtime buddies died. And look, everyone needs representation, and everyone needs to be innocent until proven guilty, of course.
Yeah.
But you wonder, this is a golf cart incident where a buddy falls off the cart and dies.
Yeah.
Was this a long day at the golf?
Of course. They were at Stagecoach, Ed. The country music.
So a festival. Long day where someone shouldn't have been even driving a golf cart. So this is just. Yeah. I'm not saying he rusted him like Baldwin.
Yeah.
But
yes. Yeah.
But this could be a problematic incident for the original Horsetooth guy himself.
I agree. And it is. So hold on. I'm going to read this because maybe there's some details there. But I'm of two minds because while it is a tragedy, if I'm out, remember, well, I mean, you might not remember. It was like around 1992. and Bobby Ojeda and
Tim Cruise.
Tim Cruise, and who was the guy that was driving the boat? It was a different guy. And there was three.
Yes. Middle relievers.
Yes.
Yeah.
There were three bullpen dudes out fishing
on the Indians.
Yeah, on the Indians, out fishing on a day off in spring training, and the light was getting low, and they were humming back to the dock or whatever. And
it was the magic hour.
Yes, exactly. It was
sunset.
It was sunset, and they just fucking ran right into a pier, and two of them died. Bobby Ojeda lived, and it was just a really sad story. And the main guy that was driving the boat was wasted, but they were all wasted. So if I get killed in a DUI crash and my buddy's driving, but I'm also drunk, then my buddy is absolved. Like I didn't, I made the decision to be drunk with him. Now golf cart, because this could be just golf cart shenanigans. Because he falls off the golf cart.
Yeah, maybe he's doing donut holes.
Yeah. Or he's trying to launch off fucking speed bumps.
Johnny Knoxville.
Yes, exactly. Could be anything.
I'm concussed.
I just watched that episode of the of the studio last night with
so good
with the diarrhea movie. Like Seth Rogen he's such a genius. I just love him so much. Like he's such a fool. That show is great, but it was good to see Knoxville on there. So let's get is there any details here? It appears there's no foul play in the death of longtime sports agent Jeff Sperbeck, and authorities have called the tragedy a horrific accident. This is what I lean to. Like, don't get wasted and drive golf carts.
I agree. The one thing I would say, if I'm drinking on a golf cart and an accident happens and I die, nobody should be punished. If the drunken driver hurts someone who didn't sign up for drinking, whether it's in a car or the golf cart, you're gonna get punished.
100% agree with you, buddy. Riverside County Sheriff Chad Bianco said Friday.
Bianco.
Yeah, I mean that sounds like Elizabeth, New Jersey Sheriff Chad Bianco.
What is love, baby? Don't know. Chad Bianco. Let's go. Get the glitter.
Said that investigators have not found any sign of criminal activity surrounding Sperbeck's fall from a golf cart driven by Football Hall of Famer John Elway. This appears, this is the old boy network right here. This appears to be a horrific accident, Bianco told the Denver Post on Friday. And unfortunately for all those involved, one of the people, a couple of them happen to be very high-profile celebrities, and that makes this more of an issue than it probably should be. Sperbeck, who was Elway's agent, suffered the fatal fall last Saturday at the Madison Club, a private country club. I think I have a couple buddies that are really into golf, Ed. And they talk about these golf courses, and it's like they actually are sucking the literal dick of a place that costs way too much to play golf. And they're like, oh, the bunkers and the fucking tee boxes and one of these places
Rescue at Bethpage Black.
Yes. One of these places I go play golf with these guys sometime, and it's $250,000 nearly to play at this golf course, and I'm not playing there anymore. I just can't. I'm not a golfer. Like I can't afford that. I don't want to. It's not worth it to me. And these guys are like, oh yeah, it's a lot of money, but it's so beautiful, and the grass and the bunkers. And I'm like, this is like complimenting your rapist mustache. You're just blatantly just getting against your will, having something horrible done to you, and you're like, hey, you look kind of good today. Like I don't get it. To that point, I believe I've heard these guys sucking off this place right here. I don't know. They all have these stupid fucking names. So it's like, it's hard to distinguish one from the other. But the Madison Club, I mean, it sounds pretty fucking white to me. And John Elway was there. So it's probably, these guys have probably sucked this place off before. A private club, country club in California. Bianco told the Denver Post that his sheriff's department only got involved after a massive media inquiry from multiple media. Oh, yeah, so the sheriff wasn't even going to come out. Upon responding to the incident, the first responders at the scene did not find any evidence that Elway was intoxicated. What was the next day?
Yeah, he pulled a Ted Kennedy.
Yes.
He's freshly showered, and he's like, "Hey, what happened? I was wondering what happened to my friend."
This is that guy on The Bachelor. Did the same thing. The beautiful Chris Scales, the farmer from The Bachelor, he murked a dude on a tractor in Iowa, and then he raced home and locked the door and pretended like the cops weren't there and waited till he sobered up. Pretty smart.
Hey, Chappaquiddick did it.
Yeah, same thing, yes. It's a common practice for medical personnel, whether it be ambulance personnel or hospital personnel or even fire personnel, to call us after the scene of an accident because something doesn't look right. And this was not the case. Bianco told the outlet that the investigation process. So look, he fell off. And I know, like, there's also something to this. They were close friends. And let's be honest, John Elway made this guy rich. Like, yeah, he's dead. But he died rich as fuck because
he was in proximity to one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time.
He worked with John Elway. And because I believe some of his family members were there, like his wife and kid or son or something were also on the golf cart. Must have been a big ass golf cart. And so look, a guy makes you rich, but he also accidentally kills your dad, but then your dad dies and now you're rich. I mean, that's a wash to me. Like
when you're making a extravagant omelet, you got to break a few eggs.
You do. It happens. Yeah. Look, he was going to die eventually. Sounds like he liked to get pissed drunk. Like this kind of shit happens to people that get pissed drunk sometimes.
He died doing what he loves.
Yes.
Getting drunk and getting things paid for by John Elway.
Watching Jelly Roll perform, getting something at Guy Fieri's barbecue stand, and
getting front of the line passes with his buddy John Elway.
Yes, exactly. I mean,
unfortunately for him, the front of the line pass was to the gates of heaven.
Early gates, yes, first in line. Look, very sad story. All right, but also, I would love to be friends with John Elway and have him make me very rich.
Yeah. Make just generational wealth for my family before I get murked by him.
I would love that.
I would love to set my kids up, but getting murked by John Elway.
Of course. Yeah, look, guy was in his 60s. He had a nice long run. No big deal.
What, are you going to peter out the next 15 years?
It's the worst. You got the best years, and they were with John Elway at fucking Stagecoach watching Jelly Roll sing like Adele for guys that are forklift certified.
Yeah. And you probably didn't, really have to feel the murder. You were murdered before it was over.
Yes.
You
head wound.
You're like, whoa, and then that's it, and your family's rich forever.
Head wound, bunk, nothing.
And you're already drunk, so your reaction time. By the time you react, you're dead.
Dead. Don't even notice. Apparently, these guys owned a vineyard, a winery together, Ed. So look, they made it their passion.
He owned a vineyard.
Yeah, 7 cellars. Oh, get it 7, because he was number 7.
Wonder where he got that money for the vineyard.
Yeah. Maybe from his buddy John.
Number 7, goddamn.
Okay, what else, Ed?
Well, R.I.P. Mike Tirico. He was missing off the Kentucky Derby broadcast. He blames snack grazing for his nut allergy reaction that kept him off the Kentucky Derby.
Do you think all those girls that he all those women at ESPN that
grazing he was doing?
Yeah, that he groped. Do you think they also had an allergy to his nut? Because they seem to be trying to escape him. Yeah.
Hey, I'm just a paisano. I thought there was some gabagool here.
Yeah, he's just
Where's the gabagool? What's wrong with all the nuts?
He's just a regular Italian guy. You figure
some mutts.
You figure an old school Italian like Mike Tirico would know that pesto has walnuts in it. Because even my daughter's allergic to nuts. I know she can't have pesto, and we're not Italian like Mike Tirico from the islands.
Just want a little manicotti.
A little prosciutto, hey! Where's the gabagool?
In the old country, we don't have allergens here. Hey,
I will say, whoever they got to fill in, it was a better Kentucky Derby.
Oh, of course, because it wasn't boring.
So boring. Whoever called the Kentucky Derby instead of Mike Tirico, I bet you slightly varied the tone of his voice throughout the running.
The horse is running, galloping, 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 and we have a winner.
Back in the day, out at Del Mar at the horse races down here in San Diego, Del Mar, there was a British guy, Trevor something. And this guy, you could not, Ed, you could not get more pumped up than when this guy, and you could give a shit.
When a guy gets like super amped.
Oh yeah. And when down the stretch they come.
He's like an auctioneer.
And you're like, yes, I'm into it. So if they got him to fill in, then it was fucking way better than whatever, and it's NBC. So maybe they got Don Criqui or, whoever, Bob Costas. Whoever they got was better than Mike Tirico. It was an
down the stretch they come. How about some man of God?
What else, Ed?
Tyrese Haliburton's father and the Pacers have mutually agreed for him to stay away from games after his run-in with Giannis after the Pacers beat the Bucks in Game 7 of the first round.
That's the right thing to do.
Anyone who wants to see a classy athlete, watch the press conference from Giannis after that Game 7. And he was like, my parents, my dad was telling me that he didn't want to get deported, so he always taught me to be on your best behavior. And he's like, when you win, well, he was a Greek, he was an African by way of Greece, so he's like, we were always on our best behavior. And he's also like, I was taught when you win, just be happy. You're not getting in the face. Like, Giannis was the best player on the court the whole first round, all 7 games. Yeah. But he had a shit squad around him.
Of course. Yeah. And he had Kyle Kuzma.
Yeah. Kuzma going for goose egg for 18 minutes.
Yeah.
And he had a lovely response. And he's like, I just thought this was a fan in my face. And so, I was upset by that. And Haliburton's dad has got a towel of Haliburton, and this is what we do, getting in his face. And it's like, what did you do? You haven't done anything.
You're not on the team.
You have nothing to do with this game.
Like clap
right,
for
you're
your
happy.
team.
Your son is making you rich and giving you fond memories, and you can't do anything but get in the face of Giannis.
Be excited that your team won.
But I like how they had a meeting and they sat down and they agreed he shouldn't be there. Haliburton's dad agreed?
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah.
I think I shouldn't get front row seats to watch my son in the playoffs. I think I should sit this out.
Yeah, I mean, it's like if you're Tyrese Haliburton, there's you're one of the rising stars in the NBA. You've ascended to that level, and you want to be palatable to Madison Avenue. You want to make deals, and you're not, and your dad is going to prevent you from making deals.
Very creepy looking. His dad looks like Scatman Crothers' stunt double. Like he's a weird looking dude.
Oh, really? I haven't seen him.
Dad, get the fuck out of the picture. This is about me, not about you.
Yeah, I'm trying to get paid. I'm trying to get us all paid over here.
I just want to get 7, and the story is about you getting in the face of Giannis.
Exactly. Okay, let's talk, or let's do some voicemails.
He's so easy to hate. Your time he likes to waste. His calls are far from great. His calls are far from great. He's such a stupid fuck. He seems down on his luck. His voicemails really suck. His voicemails really suck. No one's enjoying him. He's so annoying. Plus so fucking boring and worthless. But he's got nothing else to do. And he's even worse than ish. His thoughts are useless shit. He's fat and got big tits. He's Manuel in Gardenia. Whoa, he's Manuel in Gardenia. Whoa.
Couple voicemails here.
Gentlemen, Katie Shady here.
It's Katie Shady.
Just wanted to chime in about Woody Allen.
Oh,
just in
back
case
on Woody Allen.
a woman's perspective, a woman who's a sexual assault survivor, all that kind of stuff, just in case their opinion is valid, is that I'm with Ed on this.
Whoa.
And for me, the kicker is that I really find Satchel and Dylan to be unreliable narrators. And I was totally convinced by the fact that the DA never pressed any charges, and you know that they were chomping at the bit to do so. And there's never been any other reports of him having any kind of inappropriate or lewd contact with a small child.
Yes.
I do agree that he likes teenage girls.
He's a weirdo.
He's been
That's
with
creepy.
the same woman for many, many years now. And the fact that there's never been any reports before this or after it, I think is a huge tell to the fact that he didn't do that, and that Mia Farrow was really after him.
Oh yeah, she seems a little nuts.
To get revenge. Also, I read Moses Farrow's thing too, and I thought that was very compelling as well. Just wanted to put my 2 cents in there. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Katie.
Thank you, Katie Shady. Notice when it's an Ed opinion, Katie Shady's quick to agree.
I thought I was about to be refuted.
Yeah.
I was just gonna be like, hey, look, I'm just kind of basing it on what I've heard, but like, yeah, I just think the main thing, and obviously, like, I read Woody Allen's autobiography, and he was like, the amount of people that were chomping at the bit to send me up the river, he's like, they wanted so badly for there to be evidence,
something,
to even go on trial. Like, even a trial would have made it worse for him, and he couldn't, like, nobody charged him with anything. It was like someone who had issues with him, and for valid reasons of having issues, not valid reasons of accusing something that you didn't do, but like, yeah, of course she should hate a guy who starts dating her adopted daughter. Yeah. But it was like, there wasn't evidence, and there were a lot of people that would have loved to put him on trial, and they never did.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you.
That was my point.
There you go.
Thank you, Katie.
I do need to know if that Satchel, what's his name now? Ronan.
Yeah. Frank Sinatra's son.
Frank Sinatra's son.
Who was Woody was told that was his son.
I know.
He looks like fucking Frank Sinatra.
He looks exactly like Frank Sinatra. Also, Frank Sinatra was 5'2", with a 4'11" penis. Apparently, that he had to have slung.
Kickstand.
He had to have some special underwear to sling it up because it was so massive. But it's my understanding, and I've been wrong before, but it's my understanding that Ronan, aka Satchel, had that limb lengthening surgery because he has designs on becoming a politician and running for office, and you can't do that if you're 5'2", like Ron. There's a guy in Florida that eats the pudding with his fingers. Ron? Yeah, Meatball Ron. Meatball Ron's like 5'6".
Lifts.
Yeah, and so he has to wear lifts. But this Ronan got ahead of it, and he's like, no, I'm not fucking with that. I'm gonna add 3-4 inches to my height by having my legs broken and grown back together. So yeah. So I would like to get to the bottom of that. That's what I'm interested in. Okay. Here's another one. Oh, look at wait, hold on. Here's another one.
Ballers, hey, it's Ben 906.
Oh, Ben 906.
Always calling in with the hot off the presses bowling stuff, but something broke late last week.
Last we heard Jason Belmonte, the champion bowler from Australia, one-handed bowler who we support. He was in trouble, Ed, for vaping during a tournament, which is against the rules apparently. Let's see if there's an update on that.
They didn't get a chance to call in and make the show. The PBA is going to be moving off of Fox.
Off of Fox? Was it on?
I thought it was on ABC. Everybody knows the PBA is on ABC.
Wide World of Sports. Who do you think you are? I am. Yeah. That was on ABC.
Yeah, called by, and speaking of
Gary Thorne called it.
Oh, Gary Thorne. But before Gary Thorne, the Chris Schenkel was the longtime voice of the PBA.
But Gary Thorne was the who do you think you are? I am.
That's exactly right.
I missed those pipes.
Yeah,
he was the Orioles guy before COVID, and then his contract was up. And I haven't heard him in sports since. He he had such great pipes.
Oh yeah, he used to do when ESPN had the NHL. He would always do the NHL playoffs.
He did the Mets when I was
He's
in
great.
like high school.
Yeah.
Like, great pipes.
Great voice,
pipes.
Gary Thorne.
Cow for Fox, but moving off of Fox.
Imagine knowing Gary Thorne exists, but thinking that Mike Tirico is good at play-by-play. Like it's just like it's, the mind boggles. They're not even doing the same fucking job. They're not doing the same thing.
Oh, I was listening to the Knicks game last night, and I had
Mike
that
Breen.
thought. No, because it's not local broadcast.
Marvelous. He's retired. Did he die?
I think they had Iron Eagle.
Great.
Or
Iron Eagle's great.
it was either Iron Eagle or
Kevin Harlan.
One of these other great ones.
Great.
And I thought while this was happening, I was like, imagine just wanting Joe Buck or Mike Tirico.
It's insane. It's insane.
Yeah.
Okay. Here we go.
Late last week, we didn't really have a partner, but it just broke at the
what is this?
week.
What's
going into the weekend?
What's up with the phone service in the Cleveland area?
Stuff. They're actually moving over to the CW. So where everything really great goes, the CW. Hoping that our guy Tom Bunneman can announcing those great two-handed bucks bowling.
Oh yeah.
All right. Peace.
That would be great. If Tom
Who do you
Brennan...
think you are? I am in Fag City. So
Yes.
I just think there should be case studies.
Yeah.
And just looking at what the NHL did to themselves when they moved off of ESPN and took like, what is NBC Sports / USA Network, and then Sports Center's like, all right, well, we're not going to show
the highlights.
We're not going to show highlights. And it's like, yeah, ESPN and the Disney parent company, they're all pieces of shit, but like know where your bread is buttered.
Yeah.
Fox could use Fox Sports and all this stuff. CW, I'm not sure people are going to know that much about bowling.
Yeah, it was very sad. But I mean, I assume it wasn't up to the PBA to,
I'm just saying if the deal was like $15 a year, you're supposed to take that deal.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah. Stay where people buy. Because look, I can already not find stuff. If shit is on TNT, Ed, it's may as well be on.
The best thing that's happened for TNT and TBS, I think,
is Max.
Now it's all on Max now. So I'm like, so I don't need to get those channels.
So I do. So this is a serious question. If I have Max, I can watch the NBA playoffs on Max.
Yes.
Yes. And the NHL playoffs, or some of them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because I'm considering adding Max because I need to watch the rehearsal.
Oh my God.
I haven't watched it.
You have to watch the rehearsal.
He is such a fucking genius. No spoil. I've not watched a minute of it yet.
I will not spoil it, but I was talking with somebody just recently about it. And I said, the first season, he's like going through some shit. Like it's about, in theory, it's about people rehearsing things to get it right.
Yeah.
And so originally, it was about a guy who spends trivia night like lying about the fact that he had a master's degree and he recreates the bar. Yeah. But then it becomes a whole thing where he's helping a single mother raise a child. Like it just goes in a direction that's so weird.
It's so weird.
And season 2 is 3 episodes deep, and each show has taken a crazy turn. And it's just, this is a hilarious guy that finds humor in everything. And because they're giving him the keys to the kingdom, he's just taking it in crazy directions. He's a singular comedy force that will not be repeated. There'll be weird comedy for the rest of our lives, but nobody will ever, you'll never see a show and you'll be like, you know how like there were so many shitty shows that were trying to be Seinfeld. And it doesn't mean that Seinfeld wasn't great, but it was trying to be Seinfeld. Nobody can even come close to doing what Nathan Fielder does. Yeah. And the rehearsal is great and fucking weird and great.
Yeah. It's different, but it's singular in the sense of like Sacha Baron Cohen, you know, it's just like no one else has just approached like anything. It's just a completely foreign thing. It's just, it's completely singular.
even if you wait a few weeks and then just get Max for a month and binge it, it's fucking unlike anything you'd see, and it would be the price of a movie ticket. For a month. It's so good.
It is. Yeah. I'm going to sign up because I'm invested in our Knicks and Jalen Brunson and the NBA playoffs. And then I'm going to watch that. And then I'm also going to watch The Rehearsal with Nathan Fielder. Thank you for that, Ben 906. Oh, look here. Oh, Ben 906 called in. Didn't mention the Baller Lifestyle Podcast after show every Friday night. I wonder if this next guy will.
Oh,
hey guys, Super Lee here.
Oh, Super Lee.
I just want to say, Ed, congratulations on your Knicks.
Yep, Knicks.
Absolutely destroying the Pistons. Awesome. Great job. Couldn't be more happy for you. Brian, I want to say congratulations. Well, not for your Lakers who got destroyed by my Timberwolves because that was not cool on them.
Yeah.
And but I would say congratulations on 90 days. Way to go! 90 days since the last bonus bride.
Oh, doing a pretty good job.
I know we were promised weekly, but I know that just means quarterly, so that's okay.
Yep. It wasn't that
really
long
appreciate
ago.
it. Maybe we can discuss it on the Baller Lifestyle After Show. You know that show I host with.
Oh,
Ben,
you're mentioning that.
Hopefully you guys can join us.
Never late.
You never. Yeah.
Special episode this Friday, and really wish nothing but the best for you all.
Okay.
Take care. Keep it baller.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate you. No voicemails or emails this week, Ed. So let's talk about some things that are not sports.
Well, it's time for non-sports segment on the Baller Lifestyle Podcast. Non-sports. I'm talking about the segment now. Non-sports segment. Oh.
Ed, tell us what is going on in the world of things that are not sports.
Well, I thought I would sprinkle in some good news for a friend of the show, Jay Stu.
Oh, yeah.
A man named Fred Mertz just won the vote to be Germany's chancellor after losing in the first round, and they have several rounds, and he won. So they've got a guy named Fred Mertz who's their new chancellor.
What did I texted you and Jay Stu in our group chat something about Magnum or something. I'm like, it was like Magnum's, it was Tom Selleck's birthday or something.
Yeah, it was
and
a cultural touchstone, and he's like, not for everybody.
And he's like, it missed me or something. And then you sent the GIF of
like Lucy on a conveyor belt.
Yeah, eating the chocolates, and Jay Stu, just one word, iconic.
He's so on brand. Well, congrats to Fred Mertz.
Yeah, Fred Mertz, really. Him and Ethel ruling the German countryside.
I'd like to nominate our ambassador, Ricky Ricardo, our ambassador to Spain. Very sad news.
Yeah, very sad.
A tourist was horrifically impaled while climbing a spike fence at the Colosseum in Rome. Suffering for the gram.
Was it some dude from Taiwan? So apparently, like, it was closed or something.
On a second.
Yeah.
Remember where you are recording this. It's called Chinese Taipei.
Oh, Chinese Taipei. My bad. This dude from
that's
Chinese.
A totally real place that they all recognize.
Yeah, one China, Chinese Taipei. He was taking a picture of the Colosseum, and like, was it close? Are you not allowed to get close to it, Ed? Is that the deal?
I went there when I was in college.
Yeah.
I believe they like let you go in. They don't let you climb old walls, but they let you like be in and look around. Like
So maybe it was closed.
You can get a picture. You can, or from the outside, you could get a picture.
Yes. Yeah.
Spike fence seems like that's an area they don't want you to go.
Yeah, don't do. And look, they're pretty good at making these spiked fences these days. Like, you don't.
Right. The technology is there.
Yeah, they do. You know, there's nowhere to put your foot really to boost yourself up. And then the spikes usually like come out towards you, you know, like you don't want to fuck with a spiked fence.
Really spiked anything.
Spiked things.
We don't fuck with Spike Lee. We don't fuck. We don't want to be around spiked things.
Yeah, like And also like any chances of an impaling, you want to avoid impaling scenarios.
Because how many likes? How many likes is an impaling worth?
0. Yeah, I don't I don't want to be. I don't want to be impaled. I was listening to Jeremy Renner tell Joe Rogan about his.
Was it snowmobile or?
It was a snow cat, which is like which is one of those things with like the treads on it. That's made to like push snow, and it weighed 14,000 pounds, Ed. And
that's a lot of pounds to be on top of you.
Yes. And he was thrown from it. Like, I don't know, like he hit the gas too hard and he was thrown from it and it was rolling and he thought it was going to run over his nephew. And so he ran and like tried to jump back in it, but he didn't because you have to step on the treads to get back in it, but the treads were moving.
Jesus.
So it ran him over, Ed.
So the nephew is okay.
The nephew's everybody's okay. Look, it pays to be rich in America because Jeremy Renner's fine.
I saw him. He looked good.
He's fine, Ed. He can run. But he was talking about when it happened to him, Ed. And so it runs over half his body, right? 38 broken bones. Like he's mostly titanium. He broke 14 ribs, which I don't even think we have that many. But he did. It like lacerated his liver.
I'm positive you only have 6 ribs.
Yeah, didn't we give one? Didn't we give one to make Eve? We had 13 or something, and now, so I need an anatomy professor who's gay.
Yeah, you only
with
have
herpes.
6 ribs, like 3 and 3,
3 and 3,
maybe 4 and 4 tops. There's no
unless you get one removed, so you can suck your own dick. And I don't think Jeremy Renner's done that. But he's telling the story, Ed. And it ran over it like all the way up one side of his body, broke his face. And one of his eyeballs was hanging out. He had a hanging out eyeball by the strings or whatever that hold an eyeball in.
He didn't lose sight, right?
No. And he said he could see with his other eye that his eyeball was hanging out. And he couldn't move, but he said he had the thought since he was on snow.
Put it on ice?
Yes, he's like, I should put this on ice, and he rolled his head over so that the loose hanging eyeball was in the ice, so he could preserve it.
This is
for
awful,
the paramedics.
But also impressive.
Yeah, they put it back in, Ed. His eye is fine. They put it back in, and they rebuilt his face. And he's like, they put like some titanium stuff in my face. He's like, I didn't care, but I'm an actor. They had to rebuild the moneymaker.
If you're a poor,
yeah, they ain't doing that. No. You're losing the eye.
You know what they
do
with that
snipping it off. Yes, yeah. You're fine. We'll get you a good patch. Yeah,
yeah. We'll treat you like Ahab.
An American citizen Oh, he's an American. I read Taiwanese, Chinese Taipei national. An American citizen visiting Rome was impaled on the metal fence at the Colosseum while attempting to climb the barrier to take a photo. Also, Ed, 90% of the time, I forget to take photos anywhere I go. I go places, I always forget to take a picture. When I do take a picture, I never look at it again. Like, nobody's looking at your picture. What, you're taking scenics? Nobody wants to see your slideshow of scenics, buddy.
Remember when a few years ago I went to Berlin by myself? And
you remember your family was on a cruise and you took you like David Bowie and Iggy Pop went and got lost in Berlin for a while.
Yeah, and it was great.
Checked out the museums. Great.
But I was there like 4 days. I needed to be there 3. But whatever.
Yeah, sure.
I remember.
You go to any beer gardens?
They did. Yeah, I went. Yeah. Yes, I did.
Okay,
yes.
Of course you did.
But I took some pictures, and it's like, well, here's the Brandenburg Gate where Hitler had his.
Yeah.
And it's like I took pictures, and then like it was mainly to like show Michelle, like show. But I was like, but what am I doing with this? Like, if I post this, like, who gives a shit? Like, you could look at a history picture and see that, like, the fact that I'm there. It's not like I caught a picture of something magical happening. It was something that if people pictured Berlin, they would picture what I've already seen.
Yeah.
So the only picture of my trip I posted was Checkpoint Charlie because the KFC was right at Checkpoint Charlie.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. That's a picture I would want to see.
Yes, so
Yeah.
that's what that was the only thing I felt important to post.
I'm with you. Like it's like this picture. The Coliseum's a building. Like I just saw it in this picture. Like
we know what the Coliseum looks like.
Yeah,
we saw Gladiator.
Cool. Yeah, we saw Gladiator. According to multiple Italian news outlets, the bloody incident occurred on Friday, May 2nd, with the unidentified 47-year-old man, who's also a resident of Taiwan, found hanging on the metal bars of the Piazza del Coliseo, piercing his spine. You don't want that, Ed. If things you don't want pierced.
There and you just feed me to the lions, please. Just let it go.
If my spine is pierced, that's, like there's things you don't want pierced. And I would say top of the list, probably spine. Number one. No,
the only thing I want to be pierced by is Brosnan because he's fucking dreaming. That's the only thing I want.
The man was reportedly, he's gorgeous. The man was reportedly stuck on the fence, screaming in pain for over 20 minutes before paramedics reached him. The medics ultimately gave him a sedative so they could carefully maneuver him off the bars. It took the team more than 20 minutes to detach the man from the spike, which resulted in him losing a large amount of blood.
You know what I'd take a picture of? If I saw this Taiwanese American dude on a spike, I'd be like, whoa, you have to see what I just saw. That would make a picture.
That is picture worthy.
I'd be like, look at this dude.
Yeah, 100%. That is absolutely something I would want a picture of too.
He would make my gram.
After the paramedics stabilized him and tightly bound his injuries to prevent hemorrhaging, he was transported to a hospital near San Giovanni, where he underwent surgery. I wonder if that's Mike Tirico's hometown.
Hey,
say hello to me grandmama in San Giovanni.
Make sure you get the garlic bread there.
People reached out to Carabinieri, Italy's military police, who dealt with the incident. Per the outlet, the man was unable to speak for several hours after the incident.
Yeah, understandable.
But was questioned by law enforcement. Now, suggestion. We know what happened to Amanda Knox. Do not have any conversations with Italian law enforcement. That is not going to go well.
If you're going to be weird.
Yeah.
A guy who's making that choice for the gram is going to be weird.
Yeah, he's probably doing backbends and cartwheels and yoga poses like Amanda Knox was.
Looks like a murderer. Hey, let's call Lieutenant Tirico from New York.
There were no definitive answers as to how the horrific scene occurred. Officials know that the tourist was on vacation in the city for several days with family and friends. Now, why is there a big chunk out of the Coliseum? Is that from World War II, Ed? It's like sawed off on the side. There's a couple chunks missing of this. It looks like shit.
I don't know, but London.
Yeah.
They try to preserve a couple old buildings and old castle things, and they got the shit bombed out of them. I don't know the extent. I know things turned south for Mussolini, and they dragged them in the streets and all.
Yeah,
but I don't know how much. Was there a lot of bombing there, or were they they were guilty by being friends with the bad guys?
I think so. Well, no, we definitely invaded there.
No, but I don't know if we just started bombing them like we bomb.
No,
really. Every Laos, we bomb
Cambodia.
We love bombing everything, but I don't remember reading about us bombing the shit out of Rome.
No, I don't. I think you're right. I don't think we bombed.
We attacked them, but I don't remember anything.
I think you're right. Yeah, I'm sure there's a documentary about it.
But we love bombing.
We do.
Just to be clear,
it's our national industry, Ed. It's what we exist to bomb. Right. We can't have healthcare because we need to bomb places. Why would you want your tax dollars to go to healthcare or education when we can go to making bombs?
We can pay for jets that'll never even see battle.
No, they're already out of date. They're already obsolete by the time the new ones come around. Ed, they already got another one in the pipeline. What they got this old piece of shit for that they just made? There's a new one in the pipeline.
Free Luigi.
Ed, what else?
Tiny penis pendant was discovered near a UK landmark, Hadrian's Wall, which may have been a Roman soldier's good luck charm. And It's a little penis. So you can see it's like a little penis pendant.
Look, I would wear. Look,
And-
I have a lot to look. Ed, I wear a whole bunch. You see this? It's on my neck right here.
Wow.
I got a whole bunch of charms right here, Ed.
Think of how much luck you'd feel if you had a little tiny penis pendant.
Yeah, I got one. I got a little state of California here that my friend Elizabeth gave me, and I got this. I got a Jesus-y thing right here. What if I could put a little penis next to the Jesus-y thing? I
And
would
look
wear
at
that.
it, and it's not even cumbersome. It's just like a little penis. It's like a tiny.
It's
You click on it,
beautiful.
it's like that big. It's like a little penis, but
It's a good size.
It's beautifully carved. It's a beautiful one.
And this is just hanging around. Some Roman soldier just dropped it.
Yeah, I mean, look, he might have
2,000
been
years ago.
fighting. He might have been murdering and raping, and
that's
he just
true.
dropped it.
Tiny.
The Roman soldiers did a lot of murder. and rape.
Oh, it is. It looks like
It's adorable.
I will
but
tell you
also
what.
gorgeous.
I will tell you what. My daughter Ryan, when she was in ceramics class at Laguna Beach High School a couple years ago, she was making little penises like this all the time in ceramics class. It looked just like this one.
Why wouldn't you make that?
Of course. And I mean, it's like this looks like her artworks right here. This looks like exactly what she was making.
Maybe in a past life she was a Roman soldier.
Yeah. Could be.
It's worth asking her.
Yeah, it is. Look, anybody, do we have any jewelry artists do we have any gay, herpes suffering, physiology professor, jewelry makers in the audience that could call in and maybe make us our own Baller Lifestyle podcast commemorative penis pendants that we could wear around our necks? I know, Ed, you're not a jewelry guy.
No, I'd wear that.
Of
It's
course.
a beautiful little penis.
Yes, it's beautiful. What else, Ed?
So you know how like college admissions, they have tours and stuff. Well, there's a little Catholic university, or not university, a college in the Boston area named Emmanuel College.
It's not a real name. How's there so many colleges in Boston? There's like 60 colleges in Boston.
There's a million. And Boston's not even like that big of a city.
No, it isn't.
It's
think there's only Boston proper. There's only like 600,000 people or something. Yeah, it's all Newton and all the other ones.
Tommy from Dorchester says he's from Boston. It's one of those things people lie about it.
Yeah.
Like I'm from Hoboken, New Jersey, but if I was in the Boston area, I'd be like, yeah, I'm from New York.
New York.
Like,
yeah, exactly.
I'm
across the river. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, Emmanuel College's missions worker was fired for allegedly soliciting an applicant, 17 years old, for sex after giving the college tour. The small Catholic college worker offered her $400 for, quote, some fun.
Wow.
And claimed to have pornographic photos and videos ready to send her way if she was ready. Then he later texted her and asked whether or not she wanted to have sex with him or participate in a gangbang with him.
Wow. So that assumes he has friends.
Yeah.
He would have to know people to invite.
He was trying to recruit other applicants. Like, hey, I got an idea. How about we do a gangbang with you and 3 of the other girls on the tour?
He's industrious. Jacob Henriquez, 29, allegedly used his position as an assistant admissions director at Boston's Emmanuel College to access personal information of prospective students and solicit them for sex.
$400.
Yeah, and also, like, if you're saying I'll give you $400 for sex, the fact that you have pornography available to you that's implied. Like, if you're the type to offer $400 for sex, we got a good idea that you're pretty well stocked in the pornography department. Take, for instance, our old buddy, the resident advisor at Indiana University in the early 90s, Jared.
Fogel.
Yeah, Jared Fogel. He had an extensive porno library in his,
I will repeat. I've said it many times on the show, but when I was doing that ad award show, the guy's like, "Oh, I work with Jared. Every year we had to get more Spanx, like tighter Spanx, because he just wouldn't stop eating, and we had to make him look skinny. So he had like super Spanx by the end."
I bet you that dude Clay Henry. Remember, they were trying to have a second Jared, and he was handsomer, and he was like a firefighter that also used to be fat and also was from the Midwest, and he got skinny on on
But he was kind of
6-inch
good looking,
subs.
right?
Yeah, he was kind of good looking, and it just didn't take. People wanted more Jared. They wanted less Clay Henry.
They wanted to identify with a guy who they're like, yeah, he lost weight, but he looks like shit,
loser,
and I could look
yes,
better than him.
Yes, yeah, you don't want somebody too handsome because it's aspirational. You're like, well, I'll never look as good as Clay Henry, but I could look as good as Jared Fogle.
You got Fogle as a benchmark. You're like, I can be better looking than that dude.
Yeah, 100%. And Fogle was he was for a while there. Subway was the number one franchise in the country. Like there were more Subways than anything else.
Smelled
disgusting smell. But but with the whole Jared Fogle thing, they're like, oh, it's healthy. They're like, oh, plastic bread actually good for you. Like come get a health. Like
even though in the UK they ruled that our tuna fish didn't contain any fish.
Yeah. Yeah, our bread is made out of flip-flops, but ignore that because it's not a Big Mac, like it just go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep.
Well, some salt to the earth
Tell me.
discussion right now. Meghan Markle reveals why she and Prince Harry call each other M and H. Brian, I want you to guess why they would call each other M and H.
It's because it's their initials.
Oh.
Her name's Megan and his name's Henry.
I thought it was
Harry.
Murgatroyd and Hercules.
I read the whole thing and I still don't know why because it was like
they made an announcement. Like they're in an interview and they're like, you'll never believe why they call each other M and H. And it's like, I believe it's because the names start.
It's a pet name.
What are we doing?
How are we still putting up with these people?
Because South Park's about to come out with a new season, and the last season, which was like 2 years ago, they did an episode where, like, we were going on a worldwide privacy tour, and they good. And they were like, please leave us alone, and then
our privacy, yeah.
and then like the South Park boys were playing at the end. They're playing pickup hoops, and Harry's like, "Do you mind if I play?" And they're like, "Yeah, sure, you can join us." And then he brings a drum set and he's playing by the. They're media whores.
They're starved for attention, and all they want is attention.
What are they? What are we getting out of them?
Yeah. For being royal people, but not royal people. And look, this what's her name is a succubus, Megan. But also he's a big puss. Like he's just allowed it to happen. I mean, Ed, the dude was a prince.
Yep.
Do you know how fucking good I would be at being a prince? You go over, you take some pictures with some African kids.
Yeah.
You have sex with a few African ladies. You're on to the next. Then you're in Spain for a couple weeks,
His uncle,
Andrew,
took decades of bad behavior to get removed and then quietly reinstated.
Still there. Yeah.
And this dude's like, hey, I am having sex with a really, really and she still is really attractive.
Yeah, she's good looking. Yeah. She's in suits.
But if you're a prince, and also I remember the narrative.
Prince.
Yeah. He was the good-looking one because his brother looks like a horse.
Yeah, his brother started out looking good, but then started looking like the dad, who's hideous and inbred.
And his brother has already maxed out the talent he can get.
Yeah, yeah.
But he locked down Kate Middleton.
Yeah, he's supposedly fucking the neighbor in their village too. But he's a prince. You can do that.
Yeah. But Harry just needed to just keep the good times rolling.
Yeah.
And he couldn't do that because he had the chick from Suits.
Yeah, he had the chick from Suits. And look, he had, maybe he's got a type, but you could get the type. You're a prince. You can get your type, but not so mouthy. You find your type. Not quite so, not so chatty.
Not someone who reveals in interviews why you call each other M and
H. And look, I read this. If I have to read this article again to figure out the M and H thing, you're gonna see me dangle. You're just gonna see my feet because I'm up here from the rafter because it's
like that scene in Airplane where you see the body hanging.
Yeah, you're gonna see me.
I'm tapped out.
I'm gonna be pouring gasoline all over myself while I'm hearing the story of M and H. Like it's your fucking initials. Who gives a fuck?
Right. Not everything is newsworthy.
No, it isn't. Like nobody gives a shit. Like have your privacy. We're desperate to give you your privacy.
we already talked a lot about the Met Gala, so we don't have to say too much. But the story that was going to kick off our discussion, if we didn't already discuss it, is Demi Moore dressed as a necktie in a dress featuring 1 million beads. Brian, we talked enough about this event, but like Demi Moore still.
She looks great.
Gorgeous. She's a gorgeous lady.
What is she, about 65?
Yeah, and she's dressed like a fucking necktie. Great. Like, if we have to have a party that is making you look like a necktie when you're one of the great looking women of all time.
It's true. I honestly,
what are you doing?
Honestly, okay, now I kind of see it. So, but like, if you had not said she's dressed as a necktie, I never would. And what was the theme again? Like, how does this fit the theme?
Just so we're clear. The headline is why I knew it was a necktie.
Okay,
like, why would I know that?
Yeah, because looking at it, I can't tell it's a necktie.
Yeah, I mean, she's still wearing like a nice form-fitting dress, but with a giant stupid hat.
Yeah. And, yes, and also that's not a hat, Ed. It's part of the dress. It's like a big. That's the neck of the necktie.
Exhausting to know this thing exists.
And also, I'm looking at this necktie, Ed, and this is a four-in hand knot. It's not. She's not even doesn't even have a half Windsor going. All right, it's not even a proper necktie knot tied in this dress. Like, what are we doing over here? Right. This is the Met Gala. It's fashion's biggest night. I'll tell you what, though, this Demi Moore. I remember when I was probably about 9 years old, being over at spending the night at my grandparents' house, and they had On TV. Do you remember On TV, Ed? It was like cable, but it was just like one channel. It was a switch. They also had Select TV, which is the same idea.
I knew of it, but no, we never had that.
Well, no,
I didn't have cable. I had just the rabbit ears until I was like in 8th or 9th grade.
Oh my! Really?
Yes.
Wow.
So when I'd go over to a friend's house that had cable, and I'd be like, "Hey, let's watch TV," and they're like, "Nah, I don't know. Let's go out and play outside." And I'm like, "No, let's watch HBO."
Hey, you have HBO. Like, let's put on some fucking HBO. You could watch not necessarily the news.
Yeah, Sniglets.
Yes, yeah. All that's Fraggle Rock. So I can't remember what I was going to say, Ed. What was I talking about?
About On TV.
On TV.
Anymore.
Now I remember being 9 years old, and they had like this leather couch in their den, and that's why. I don't know. There were beds there. I don't know why I was on the leather couch, but anyway, I was, and I'm lying there snuggled with a blanket, like in there, door closed, and I threw that TV on, and we reviewed it here, Ed. And it's not such a great movie, but it was an important movie for me. It was St. Elmo's Fire. And
where she tried to kill herself with a gentle breeze.
Jules. And then Rob Lowe's like trying to break the door down with a fire extinguisher. And it's like, but I'm so cold. Look, I don't care about any of that. This woman was so beautiful, Ed.
She's gorgeous.
And it really imprint, you know how things imprint. Like Demi Moore imprinted on me at that age, and I've been fond of her ever since. Like it
was that movie and One Crazy Summer.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Right,
yeah.
and
is that the one where they race the boats?
Yes. Nantucket. Race the boats. He was John Cusack was Hoops.
It's great. That's a great movie.
Great movie.
She's just such a piece of ass, and she looks fantastic today. Like she looks great. She doesn't need to do this. You know, she doesn't need to embarrass
do this
herself.
to her life. She's just a beautiful lady. She doesn't need to dress like a shitty necktie.
You know what she should do? She should get out of the spotlight. She should come over here. I got this great couch downstairs, Ed. I got a velour velvet couch. Sure. It's blue. She could get on the couch with me. She just rest. She doesn't have to be.
You could watch some old movies of her.
Yes, we watched St. Elmo's Fire, and she could tell me.
You could tell her how great she is.
Yes, I'll give her a massage, whatever she needs. Love her.
Finally,
tell me.
Alyssa Scott says Nick Cannon hasn't seen their child in over a month.
Well, I mean, just based on just the numbers wise, Ed, he has like 13, 14 kids.
I imagine baby mamas, like he probably at his house has like one of those deli counter things.
Oh, yeah.
And they just select the number and it's like, excellent. You're up. Yeah. Now I'm going to go see Alyssa Scott's baby.
Yeah. How stressful is it when you have to pull the number on the deli counter because they're going to skip your number?
I know my number is 65.
You got to keep checking it.
But then they're like 58. I'm like, wait a second, did I have 55? And then I look, and it's It's terrible.
Keep checking. Then you don't want people to see you checking. You're like, oh, these people are going to think I'm an idiot because I keep checking my
I'm
number.
going to play it cool.
Yeah.
And then they'll say, sometimes they'll be like, oh, 66. And then you're like, did they say 66? And they're like, no, we said 56.
No. Yeah. Oh yeah. That's bullshit. Yeah. And then they're like 60. And you're like, oh, okay, man. And they're like, no. Oh, Ed, I'm officially a fucking old man. Yesterday I was getting some food at this place and I had to pee. And I'd never been to this place before. And it was like a takeout, but like the window's outside and then there's an inside. And I'm like, oh, I gotta pee. And I walk in and it wasn't that big. And I'm like, oh, I don't see where to pee. And I go, and I see a door. This is fucking how stupid I am, Ed. I see a door and it's like behind the counter in the kitchen. And I go, oh, that must be the bathroom. You know how sometimes some restaurants, like you walk through like the expediter station.
By the kitchen stuff.
Yeah. And you're like, oh, I feel stupid walking by the expediter station, but there's the bathroom. I go, so this is that setup. Ed, I started fucking walking through the kitchen to take a piss. And the whole kitchen, everybody that worked there stopped and was like looked at me in horror. Like, what is he lost? What's wrong with
you're acting like it's a scene in Goodfellas. You're walking through the kitchen.
Yeah, but I'm not handing out $100 bills. I'm not at the Copa. And I'm like, oh, and they're like, what? And I go, oh, sorry, bathroom. And then they're like, okay. They're like, you got to go outside, turn right, walk down a couple doors. Take another right. Walk through another. I had to walk into like some offices where people were working to take a goddamn piss. Hey, throw up a sign, maybe. Like, how about some arrows? Yes. But yeah, I had to get on a donkey, put some fucking arrows around. Like, how am I supposed to know where I'm supposed to take a piss? I'm walking in the kitchen like a fucking old special person. It's very embarrassing to me.
I'm going to say one embarrassing thing before we close.
Tell me.
Today, I had to return an Amazon thing for Michelle because I hate returning things.
Yeah. I end up just, they all live in my car. All my returns, I take too long. I have an Amazon in my car right now.
So there was a Staples that will take it. And so I was at a Staples.
Yeah.
And I stopped by the counter.
Yeah.
And I have the thing and they go, they're scanning it and they're like, oh, wait a second. Is that Amazon return?
Yeah.
All right. So you should just go back over there. And I look back and I look along the floor. There's these giant yellow arrows that say Amazon returns this way. Because nobody else is in Staples.
Well, Staples are half the size they used to be. Yeah.
And this one's still the same one from like 2000.
Oh, yeah.
It's just the saddest place on earth.
Empty.
And there are like 40 giant yellow arrows that I just totally missed.
And probably a long line of people that you didn't see standing there. Yeah.
And there's nobody else in there except 2 employees and like 7 people returning an Amazon package. And I was like, oh yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
But I just missed all of the arrows.
Are you like me though? You're like, you don't think you're going to be able to get the QR code on your phone. So you like take a screenshot of it.
Yes,
occasionally I'll just print this shit out. Yeah. And I'm like ready. I'm like, here we go. We're going to do this. Right. And they're like, okay, yeah, no problem.
I had a paper and the screenshot. I'm like, hey, they're like, it's fine. But I get all nervous.
Yeah. Paper. Scanning I went to a Dodger game a few weeks ago and I go to, and they're like, yeah, just put your thing up. And I'm like putting my screen up to the thing. And they're like, no, turn your phone around and just like you're taking a picture of the thing, put your phone up to it. And I'm like, who fucking knows how to do this? Like what they're coming up with these new inventions every single day.
We're of a certain age where like,
and then if your kids are ever there, Ed, like it's just they're like their eyes are just fucking rolling so hard because you're just such a boomer.
And like you can feel the head shake and the eye rolling. It's sad.
Yeah. Okay. Before we sign off, I just saw this story here, and because I got some bad information today from my friend Gordy Moosejaw that Motown legend Smokey Robinson had died, but I'm just seeing here that he's just actually been accused of rape and sexual assault by multiple women, which is like,
I know he lost all his publishing in a divorce.
Yeah. He's so old, and like this Smokey Robinson is so damn old.
This is where you just play defense until you run out the clock.
Just run out the clock. And he looks like a wax figurine. But I should point everybody, and I believe I was alerted to this by a friend of the show and the guy that came on and did our Cobra review with us, Xavier, that 2 years ago, Smokey Robinson did an album called Gasms.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I posted on my story today. Here, let's call it my Insta story. He did an album called Gasms, and I posted a clip of the song. Wait, was it Take It? Where is it? Hold on. Hey, I got this. Yes, I am a boomer. Where's my Gasms?
Gasms.
He's got an album named Gasms. Here we go. Listen to this. This is Smokey Robinson. Gasms. He did 2 years ago. The guy's 87 years old and he's doing albums called Gasms. What the?
I'm seriously gonna piss myself. We gotta end the show.
He's got those blue contacts. Like what the fuck is going on? Somebody find out. And now he's accused of rapes.
Oh my God.
Okay. Look.
Oh my God.
We did it all. Those are all the stories. We talked about all the things. I can't remember what they were. I've already forgotten. And yes, I'm doing so I wrote down tiny penis something pendant to name the story. But I've been letting AI do the show notes and name, because I think it's better. Like more people will find it if I do it with AI.
Except if they do our AI pictures.
Oh God, those are horrible. I might post those. For Ed Daly, my name is Brian Beckner. This has been episode number 574 of the Baller Lifestyle Podcast. We will gasm you next week.
Goodbye.
The week in sports and culture and whatever. Plus daily short.